What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Beretta Reviews. Pretty much, this is going to be the first video. Usually I do it on the KeyCast, but I've noticed that people really just like Marvel and DC on there, more of the comic kind of thing. So this will be for everything else. This is Kenobi, episode 5, or part 5, whatever, and it was amazing. So I got my notes right here, and let's get into it. Obi-Wan Kenobi, his mullet comes back from episode 2, Attack of the Clones, along with Padawan Braid Anakin Skywalker. Great kind of Attack of the Clone era, you know, brought us back to Mullet Daddy Obi-Wan Kenobi that everybody says. Great episode. It fit the needs of what people were crying about. Reva becomes the Grand Inquisitor by Darth Vader and has a kneeling scene, and he puts the pin on her. Obviously, another great scene in my opinion. Reva has a very well-developed character. Jabiim is pretty much the planet that they end up going to while they're escaping. They land down. There's a bunch of different slaves and people that are wanted by the Empire. Tons of lightsabers, like a memorial as well. I do like how they showed them all. And there was also like a Jedi robe. I think it was pointing to somebody that Obi-Wan Kenobi knew because he had some sentimental value towards that one lightsaber. The break-in part where the stormtroopers were all lining up and they brought out the big gun to break through the wall, and then Reva came in was really exhilarating. This was a great episode. It was very fast-paced, and you know, there was nothing at a time where you were bored or you had to look at your phone. It was just great. Obviously, I took notes because I got to take notes. Obi-Wan talking to Reva, and then Reva getting mad because he knew she was a Padawan because she knew Anakin's name. I like the whole going back and forth where they were constantly showing Reva as a Padawan in the whole Order 66. And, you know, you find out that she wants to kill Obi-Wan, or she wants to kill Anakin and doesn't have anything against Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, the whole thing that was, you know, she was using Obi-Wan to get to Vader when he had his guard down because she knew how powerful he was. Reva breaks through the wall, kind of like an old-fashioned, you know, episode 1 where she breaks through and she cuts it open. The robot or the mechanic droid or the shipper droid, whatever it was helping out, was great. I'm sad they killed it. They usually do tend off killing off all the great robots, obviously besides like R2-D2 and C-3PO. Tala, we kind of saw her dying from pretty much the beginning. Since we met her, we knew she was going to die in some way, and I like that they kind of did like a Rogue One, kind of like a self-sacrificing thing. It was a great way in touch to show that she actually cared and was sorry for what happened, including where she talked about, you know, there was 2 families worth of Force sensitives and she didn't know what they were at the time, and they were all executed by the Inquisitors. Obi-Wan Kenobi self-arrests himself so he can get up to Reva and explain to her more, you know, saying, and now this quote right here I loved. He said, "You're not bringing him to me. I'm bringing him to you." Kind of, you know, I would say egging her on, get ready to like, hey, let's join forces. But she didn't want Kenobi's help. She wanted to do this on her own. She was too cocky and she was too proud. A part I complained about, I've not complained about Leia ever, but I think this one part, I think Leia was horrible. It took her 40 minutes to get that wire. Like, it should not have taken that long. Obviously, she got to get back with her droid, but like that Leia thing was just too long, too drawn out. It was kind of dumb. Vader pulled a Force Unleashed and stopped the ship and brought it down. Obviously, it was the wrong one, but it was so cool. I was like ripping the doors off, and he was just so pissed and so powerful in this. It showed us the prime Vader. And then the escape pod obviously gets away, letting them escape. Obi-Wan Kenobi, then the training ends with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan obviously winning and Anakin smiling. I thought it was kind of weird that they didn't de-age Hayden Christensen. I mean, clearly you saw he was a lot older than what he was in that. Ewan obviously looked great. Hayden a little bit older. You could see they kind of got some of the wrinkles off. Me and him have like the same kind of wrinkles right there. Okay. Now, the Vader against Reva fight was amazing. He was just pure using the Force. He wasn't even using her weapon. And he was just beating her down and throwing her around and whatnot. And then eventually he took her sword and he stabbed her through her stomach. But I loved the small ad where he said, he was like, "You will die the same," or whatever he said, youngling, you know, and he stabbed her. And then obviously the Grand Inquisitor comes. And, you know, he's like, you know, we knew this was going to happen the whole time. This is the great part about revenge. We used you for a little bit to find Kenobi, and goodbye. Now, the ending, I may just be nostalgic, like, you know, like, because I was so hyped, but So Reva saw it was Luke. Now there was a leak a while ago that Reva ends up getting to Luke. Now, is she gonna use Luke to get to Vader? Is essentially what I was thinking in my head. But Obi-Wan was freaking out because obviously he left the communicator with Bail Organa's message. Now, with that being said, I don't think she's dead. She could be dead, but it didn't seem like she was dead. It didn't seem like they were going for that. It seemed like she was going to go on to Tatooine because they wouldn't have mentioned the planet name if there wasn't a significance to it. And then showing Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, it's nothing, constantly. So I don't know. I'm hoping we see her again. Vader was just so awesome. I love how he broke her sword in half and gave her so she could have a fair fight as well. Just the ruthless sheer not care. He was like just barely touching it. He didn't care. She was no sweat on him. But as always, that's my Vader episode 5. Kenobi episode 5 in under 10 minutes. My name is Bretta. Let me know what y'all think of this episode, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.